On the 21st and 22nd of June, 11 prisoners from the Raji Shah prison in Karaj, in protest against the beatings of the prisoners, insulting and humiliating them, deprivation of having phone calls, lack of time given for fresh air, poor food quality, presenting problems especially for private family visits, and the lack of space, went on hunger strike. A number of political prisoners in Evin prison have written a letter to the family of Afshin Asanlu expressing their condolences, and adding that they witnessed the great pain and sufferings that Mr. Asanlu went through in the prison. In a section of this letter, it indicates that, despite all the pressures, he had relatively good physical health. The letter continues that such a tragic death of a prisoner is common between political prisoners, and is due to the pressures and tortures, the lack of medical treatment, and recklessness by the prison authorities. Last week, the International Federation Journalists requested Hassan Rouhani, the elected president of Iran, to fulfill his promise after taking up the responsibility of becoming president. Gathering of supporters of freedom of prisoners in the dark illegal dungeons of Iran, organized by the German branch of the International Organization of Human Rights in Iran, was held in Hanover, which was also participated by the Amnesty International and Dignity Forum. Hajar Rostami, mother of Neda Agha Sultan, requested international organizations such as the International Court in La Haye and other human rights organizations to carry out an investigation to find her daughter's murderer. According to Mrs. Rostami, her family's attempt to find her daughter's killer has been unsuccessful. She told the campaign group that I have nothing to say to the government and I have remained silent all this time. What I want in this world is someone to help me find Neda's murderer. I have lost my child, and my life has been destroyed. Every time I return from Neda's cemetery, it feels as though she has just passed away. Even though only 2 weeks remain to the submission of the report of the United Nations Special Rapporteur on Human Rights in Iran, the mothers of Sohrab Arabi and Neda Agha Sultan, who were killed in 2009 post-election demonstration, have told the International Campaign on Human Rights in Iran that their follow-up to identify the killers of their children have been unfruitful. On Monday the 17th of June, Arash Mohammadi, a left-wing student activist, started a hunger strike. He was arrested on Saturday the 5th of June after the presidential elections, whilst participating in a gathering in Tabriz. A number of people in Rasht have sent an open letter to Hassan Rouhani, the newly elected president for Iran, and have complained about the violent behaviour of the police towards people during street celebrations on the 18th of June, after Iran's national football team, which qualified for the World Cup.
The security and intelligence services of Iran's government have been putting pressure on the families of 2 Kurdish political activists and have threatened to arrest them. There are reports that the security and intelligence services entered Kaveh and Asrin Karnabi's house and told their parents that they must take their children to the government's court. On 22nd of June, Dr. Musa Ahmadi, a student specializing in endocrinology and metabolism, who is a Sunni and member of Quran school, was prohibited from continuing his studies. Around 20 elderly Sunni citizens who have been sentenced to death by the Islamic Republic of Iran are waiting to see whether the courts will repeal their sentences. In recent days, 6 of these Sunni activists have been transferred to Ghazal Hisar prison in the city of Karaj and are awaiting execution. Police officers who were stationed in Alan Sardasht village shot at one of the village huts and critically injured a worker called Sharid Hassanzadeh. Mustafa Danishju, one of the lawyers of the Gonabadi dervishes, following respiratory problem and exacerbation of asthma attack, was transferred to the Evin prison's infirmary. Despite the deterioration of Danishju's situation and the emphasis of the prison's doctors on his immediate transfer to the General Hospital, due to pending orders of the head of the Branch 15 of the Revolutionary Court, Salavati, who indicates that transfer of any ill dervishes to any general hospital must be with authorization of the Ministry of Information, he was kept at the same infirmary. On 16th of June, Pejman Zafarmand, one of the members of the House of Writers, was arrested at his workplace by unidentified people and was transferred to an unknown location. On Thursday the 29th of June, Ahmad Asghari, a journalist and a student activist from the University of Tehran, was arrested by security forces in Fadak Park of Tehran.
The employer of the Javeh Earthen Dam, which is placed in Kamyaran Road, 20 kilometers from Sanandaj city, has fired 110 of its employees. Furthermore, around 18 months before this incident, 40 employees of the dam project, which is located in Zavrud area in the city of Sanandaj, were also fired by the same employer. At 5 o'clock on Thursday the 20th of June, Afshin Ozanlu, one of the founders of the Outer City Drivers Union, had a heart attack. He was then transferred to the Rajais Healthcare Center by a number of political prisoners and eventually was taken to hospital. He then passed away in hospital.
There are reports that on Monday the 24th of June, an event organized to remember the death of Afshin Asanlu, a labor activist and a political prisoner, was prevented by the security forces. On Tuesday the 25th of June, 6 candidates of the council election in the city of Bukan, who opposed the election results, namely Mehdi Khodai, Abdullah Alai Berzanji, Masoud Mahmoudi, Suresh Dehban, Saeed Ahmad Hosseini, and Jian Rasool, were all summoned to the intelligence office. On Sunday the 23rd of June, more than 500 members of the Labour Construction Union across the country gathered in front of the Islamic Consultative Assembly in protest of the labour insurance issues outlined in the 2013 budget. There are reports that a labour activist who exposed the torture of fellow labour prisoners announced that the teeth of Afshin Asanlu, a labour activist prisoner, was broken while he was being tortured. Moreover, the security officers are said to have refused to allow memorials to be held for Afshin Asanlu in mosques around Tehran. According to reports, Ali Olia, head of the Justice Court, announced the execution of 14 prisoners by hanging during the past year in the province of Hormozgan. This incident has never been announced in the media before. On Tuesday the 20th of June, 4 people accused of drug trafficking were executed. One of them was hanged in public in the city of Shahrkhord, and the other 3, one of whom was a woman, were hanged in the Shahrkhord Central Prison. Mohammad Reza Habibi, the public prosecutor of the city of Esfahan, announced that 40 people accused of drug trafficking have already been hanged during the past year. He also announced that an additional 12 other individuals accused of drug trafficking have had their sentences confirmed. Ali Al-Ghazi, a general at the Shiraz Revolutionary Court's prosecutors, announced that hand amputation sentences of 6 people in the city have been issued. There are reports that on Thursday the 20th of June, Ali Nekunam, a supporter of Ayatollah Dastghaib, who is one of the clerics of the supreme leader of the Islamic Republic of Iran, was arrested as he was leaving work and was transferred to an unknown location by a number of undercover police officers. On Tuesday the 18th of June, Gita Rezai Zinlani was arrested by security officers while she was boarding on a plane destined for the city of Tehran in Ashrafi Esfahani Airport in Kermanshah. She was transferred to an unknown location. Gita Rezai Zinlani is a software engineer and works in an immigration consultancy company. On Wednesday the 26th of June, 2 prisoners accused of transporting and storing drugs were executed in the city of Esfahan.
The first girl to hold a record in swimming in the open waters of Iran where in June, in a major event, she broke the record for front crawl in the Caspian Sea. To register for this important event, she faced unbelievable problems. Elam Asadat Asghari, with reference that so far the process of official record registering for 18 kilometers swimming have had no results in action, she says. However, while swimming, I used the full Islamic coverage and legal observers were present the whole time at the beach, but after the sports ministry officials told me to forget about registering this record. On the other hand, the presence of 2 venomous snakes in the women's section of Evin prison has taken away the peace of women political prisoners. The presence of the snakes have been unprecedented in this section, and prisoners do not know where these snakes have entered the section and where from. Gholam Reza Falahati, responsible for the Center of Islamic Working Council in the Gilan province, announced that, even though 60% of the work is being done by female farmers, they do not receive any social support.
Ali Reza Ahmadi, one of the prisoners in the Section 350 of Evin prison, who has been suffering from hip dislocations since childhood, is on the verge of being crippled due to the lack of health care by prison authorities. On Saturday the 22nd of June, Mr. Mohammad Purshadri Siamakmer, an imprisoned blogger in the Central Penitentiary Prison of Karaj, was transferred to the prison infirmary following a deterioration of his health. The usual treatment of Mir Hossein Musavi and Zahra Rahnavard have been discontinued in the last 2 weeks, and there has not been contact with his families. On 24th of June, Arash Mohammadi, a student activist who was arrested on 15th of June, was moved to the quarantine section of Tabriz prison. According to reports received, there is no news on whereabouts of Hadi Ghazalbash from Hassanabad village of the city of Salman, who was arrested by the security police. On Tuesday, the 25th of June, Maysam Bassam Tabar, the head of the Ministry of Professional Associations, announced that, according to a new rule, the teachers' union is no longer permitted to engage in any forms of activism or collective action. According to reports, despite more than 20 days of being under arrest, there is no news of Hassan, Hamed and Shahla Saremi's conditions. Following the summoning of 6 opposition candidates of the council in the city of Buchan who protested against the result of the election, on Wednesday the 26th of June, 5 more candidates were summoned to the office of the intelligence service of the city. In a telephone conversation with the family of Daryush Hatami, a political and human rights activist, the intelligence service in Calabar City ordered Daryush Hatami's younger brother to appear in the intelligence service office on Wednesday the 26th of June. Daryush Hatami has migrated to Turkey and currently resides there.